boys and girls. Tonight we have a special episode of Weapons Hot. As you can see, our fearless leader, CJ, the painkiller D. Simone, is not with us. CJ had a few technical difficulties, but I assure you, he is safe and healthy, and we'll be back next week, like the hairy back bull that he is, to be able to leave this posse, right? So, um, tonight is special. I still got my guy, one of my favorite people in the world. Uh, my man Jimmy the Reaper Jardine, you know what I'm saying, fellow
Well,
cornerback, you know what I'm saying. Drop.
absolutely, man.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Air traffic control tonight. No passes being completed on this defense, my guy. Okay. All right. So look, real fun. CJ had an agenda. We're gonna just try to rock with it. I'm not even gonna play around because it's obviously it's gonna be a short night because we're getting in a little bit late. But um, just a couple of things we're going to touch on tonight. We're going to discuss the rebuilding process and where it is that we seem to be at right now. Joe Douglas, and how it's time for him to unleash that money that he's got in free agency to be as aggressive as possible in this period, so we can set ourselves up to really kind of make some noise going to next season. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll
Mhm.
freestyle a little bit, but obviously we're going to go into maybe this it should go without saying. We are going to hit our segments tonight. We are going to go in the spotlight, and we are most definitely, even if we don't go in the spotlight, definitely going to go in the front office tonight, so I can hear my guy drop knowledge, as he always does. Reaper, talk to me, guy. How you feeling tonight, man? Where we at?
I'm doing pretty good. Just kind of we're at the slow time right before free agency kicks off. You know, we still got to watch the rest of the teams that are in this thing have some fun. But I mean, I guess that's par for the course for Jets fans. We're used to it by now. But um, I think we're actually turning a corner despite what some of the idiots on Facebook think. So I'm doing okay.
Yeah. I'm thankful that you touched on that because I was trying not to. I've been trying to insulate myself from that stuff. I know this is silly season, and I seem to have a serious kind of aversion to it. It makes my skin crawl. Anyways, yeah. Well, I guess while we're on the subject, playoff weekend, man.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement actually from this past weekend. Probably some of the best games I think I've seen in how many damn years, and I've been a fan for a long time. And real talk, it was just some really really good football. We haven't seen a lot of that this season. I'll just be honest, and not even just from the perspective of Jets fans. I mean, there's a lot of teams struggled this season. And we're seeing a little bit of the change of the guard. I think because we don't have the perennial guys, we don't have the Aaron Rodgers, we don't have the Tom Brady. We're seeing kind of what it's like when the system works like it should, and the teams kind of do what they're supposed to be doing in kind of building and adding talent and keeping guys together. Really exciting stuff, man. Did you have any points about this weekend that you were really excited about or that you wanted to kind of touch on?
We're very close to finally seeing a Super Bowl that doesn't have Brady, Belichick, or Mahomes.
Yes.
There hasn't been one since 2016,
Oh,
so
Mahomes.
I'm kind
that's
of
the
hoping.
that's the take right there. Okay.
No, nothing against Mahomes. I like the kid. He's a great quarterback. Obviously, he's one of the best already. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to start four championship games in his first 5 years. So, I mean, you can't take that away from him. But it's just with the teams that are left, I would love to see Stafford and the Rams get in. I would love to see Joe Burrow get in after that horrible injury last year, just to come right back and
Yeah.
take him to the show. You know what I mean? But I don't take anything that I say on this to heart this week because I went 0-4 in divisionals last weekend, so I'm
Yeah.
not the best one to ask about this right now.
Right. And look, I'll just be honest. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just I just watch now. To just kind of be the football junkie that I am. I'm a competition junkie. I watch two snails racing in the garden if I can't find anything else to watch. So um
Right.
look, it's going to be exciting. Just yeah, I think you did touch upon the one thing, and I see where you're falling on this side of what you're expecting to happen this weekend by saying no Mahomes, right? Uh, Look,
I
that
mean,
would be that would be
he's
an
won
awesome
it.
game too.
He's won it. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah. Look,
let
I'm not
somebody else
mad at
have
that.
that.
I'm not mad at that. They do look a little vulnerable. Well, I mean, they're back to where they were, but there's still some things that um, I guess can be done to beat them. It really took them, with the very last seconds to be able to pull that off. And I think even Tampa Bay specifically, when we saw them play against us this season, they didn't look like a Super Bowl, kind of caliber team to me in that game. And I'm thinking maybe that's why Antonio Brown decided at that moment he's like, "Yo, we ain't winning nothing this season. I'm out.
Oh my
if,
god,
if this is what the Jets is doing to us right now, we're done. Yeah, I'm out. I'm gonna go ahead and just take what it is that I got, and I'm gonna go holler at this Uber driver. Um,
and God forbid. I think that some Jets fans need to have just a total media blackout
yeah,
because I've still seen posts that are like, "Oh, AB's going to be available." No,
you know
just
what?
no.
I'm so thankful I haven't seen that. I'm just gonna keep that real. Oof, I thank you. I'm so thankful I haven't seen that.
Oh,
Look,
it's awful.
I've definitely seen some nonsense, but it hasn't been that. Um, Look, it's just kind of just out of the blue. Who is the free agent that you would like to see them really bring in, and who do you think that really we should avoid at all costs?
Free agency. I haven't looked at the actual free agents. I've been into like some of the trades that are potentially there.
Mhm.
Um, I think the one that I would, if you're asking me who I'd like to pick up, not necessarily free agent, not necessarily trade, but um, New Orleans is in dire cap hell right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And the top two corners in the NFL that were like past breakups and past defends and stuff like that
hmm
was Bryce Hall and Marshawn Lattimore.
Oh,
So get me Marshawn Lattimore.
yeah, man. Look, that would be a monster addition, I
Oh
think,
yeah.
to this room. Oh man, just imagine having that guy in there, being able to be the mentor for some really up and coming talented guys, man. Look, I think we got lucky, right? In
Mhm.
how it is that that's worked out. There was a lot of skepticism coming in, but those guys have proved, maybe not that that they're it per se, but that they can be it. They've shown that they have what it takes. Just as well as anybody else as a corner. The more confidence you get, the more difficult it is to complete them passes, boy. Because
Mhm.
yeah, if you've ever swatted one down and turned around and looked in somebody's face like, Shh, it's gonna be a rough day for you, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever done that, you know how good it feels when you know exactly where it is that you're supposed to be in any defense. And these guys, they're learning how to do it, right? Adding him in that room, I think, would be really exciting. Um,
I had one guy that when we were playing that we went up for a jump ball, collided. He ended up on the ground, and I tipped the ball away,
yeah.
and then I helped him up, and I said, "I'm gonna be doing this all day."
Look, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, just be ready because it's going to be a long day for you. Right? Go back and tell the
Oh yeah.
coach. Tell the coach you need to work on blocking today.
You got to get your stats next week, my guy.
Right?
It ain't happening today.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to get it in on special teams because you're not gonna catch any passes today. That's how it feels, though. All right, so yeah, look, we kind of have been bouncing all over the place lately, just because it is silly season and there is a whole lot of uncertainty really about where it is that we go. And I know some of the guys in the that are kind of watching right now, they call me waffles because realistically, I don't really know what to expect in this season in particular, especially with not knowing what else is really going to happen as far as moves. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that we don't really expect. And even going into the draft, man, I don't think it's going to fall the way that people think that it's going to fall. I'm on record saying that I don't know if I'm confident we pick at 4 or 10. Um,
Mhm.
just because of what's possible. You think I'm far off in that one, Jim? I mean,
If there's one thing Joe Douglas has proven is that we can say whatever we want, and it's not necessarily going to be the case.
facts.
Um, I do think that at this point, um, as I said last week, Joe Douglas inherited like $27 million of dead cap in 2019. That because of McCagnon contracts, that ballooned up to $53 million in 2020, which was 25% of our salary cap was dead money players that weren't even on the team. And he dragged all that down to going into 2022 with only $3.3 million in dead cap. So business wise, Joe Douglas is probably the best GM in Jets history, and I think that's conclusive
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point
So
because of
so
that.
far,
But the one thing that I think he needs to do is I think he needs to I for one, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I'm tired of bargain bin shopping for a free agent. So I don't need him to bring in 5 or 6 free agents that are middle of the road. I would be okay if he brought in 1 or 2 elite guys. As you can
yeah,
see by my name,
yeah.
this
Hey,
is an option right here,
yeah, throw the bag, right? Throw the
and
bag, the entire bag.
I don't care. Like, and I'll be talking about DK in the front office tonight, but
Yeah,
um, there are other options, and I just think that if we resolve wide receiver in free agency with a top guy, I don't care if it's Allen Robinson, DK, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper's. I'm a little iffy on. He's when he's on, he's unstoppable, but he's
I,
inconsistent.
I think I'm a Robinson stan right now. I'm not sure, but yes, I'm sorry. Finish your thought. Excuse me.
But like if we resolve that, we need a top guy. I just think it's time to open up the purse strings. I think it's time to go out and buy the flashy new car. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
most definitely. Like I said, I'm a Allen Robinson guy. I just, for some reason, um, I just see him as a more mature option. Um, in this, and I mean, I know that he may not be the most physically gifted guy, but I also don't think that he's done. I think he's got enough left in the tank to really help us to establish something serious here with the young guys that we have.
Who's
You know
that?
what?
Who are you talking about?
Allen Robinson, man. I'm just
Oh yeah.
I'm just I'm thinking kind of near to long term here, right? Because I think that you can bring him in, and I think that he'll produce. I think he'll produce, and he'll be enough of a target, to open
Mhm.
up for Corey Davis, to open up for Elijah Moore, to open up for that nice shiny tight end that we're gonna get probably two of in the draft this year if we're smart. And if we're smart, we bring in Allen Robinson to give us the draft flexibility to be able to do that. I still
Yeah.
think drafting a wide receiver, I think is still smart.
Mhm.
Realistically, we need probably three, right, to kind of still make sure that we've got at least enough cushion.
Mhm.
Um, and Braxton Barrios is going to be in the spotlight this evening. I guess we'll get to that in a few minutes, and we'll discuss that a little further in detail, and then I think it ties in really nicely to what it looks like in the front office tonight.
Yeah.
So far, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate it again. CJ the Painkiller D Simone, our host, the straw that stirs the drink. Usually, I guess I'm stirring tonight. You know what I'm saying? A little lime on the rim. So we gonna make this happen. But look, really, really, we just wanted to show him and throw him a shout out. Worldwide Sports War Radio. Get the app. Follow us on YouTube and on Twitter and the whole thing. You already know how that is. This is fun because as we move into these next segment, I think it's going to kind of create a narrative for really how it is we see going into this off season. And if we're off, I I welcome everyone. Please reach out in the comment section or whatever where it is that you're at. Give us your thoughts. Give us what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you want. If you confess maybe your heart's desire will actually be granted. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the spotlight real quick
Yes,
because
sir.
what I think is necessary to kind of understand about going into like the silly season kind of thing, right? Is that what we're starting to see materialize right now is Joe Douglas's vision for how the New York Jets should actually be constructed on our path to be a sustainably competitive organization, with playoff and Super Bowl aspirations. So difficult to even think that that's even something that would fit in a sentence with the Jets, because it's been like 17, 18% of my life. They've been damn horrible. All right, but Braxton Barrios is in the spotlight tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason is because what we're going to see is Joe and how it is that he values a guy like Braxton Berrios, who I think there is some nuance here, and I think that decision is going to show quite a bit about what we should expect Joe to do. Right? We're talking just a moment ago about spending on that number one guy, bringing that superstar veteran in, and being able to throw the bag or wanting to throw the bag at him to make him a part of this organization to solidify what it is that we really feel can be a special offense if we infuse this type of talent, right? But we're infusing this into a team situation, and Braxton Berrios as a part of this team is very important. How important? I think is probably going to be really interesting to see about what Joe Douglas wants to pay him, because what Braxton Berrios gets obviously is going to be an indication of what it is that they feel like they should want to pay another player. You're not going to give Braxton Berrios a $7 or $8 million contract and not expect to pay somebody like Allen Robinson, $497 million, all guaranteed in the first 3 seasons, because that's the difference. We're talking about a fifth receiver, special team guy, locker room guy, but not necessarily, especially if we bring in the type of talent that we expect to, not necessarily a focal point of this offense. Now I hope that I'm not too far off base with this, and we'll talk about this in a moment. But the reason why Braxton Berrios is in the spotlight is, if you ever notice, when you flash a spotlight on somebody, there's some peripheral cats in the background that get caught. Feel me? And this is where how Braxton fits into this is going to be interesting. How much are we willing to spend as far as draft capital is concerned? Are we going to bring in a wide receiver, in the second round, in the third round? Or do we really go up and try to get that superstar guy with 10? You know what I'm saying? Where it is that Trelon, I would hope that, if they're really thinking about making a move there, that that's where they would put him. But how Braxton fits into what this offense is going to do, and what Joe sees as far as free agency concerned and going into the draft, I think is a really important aspect of what's going to happen going forward. It's a big deal. The dynamics of that room are really important, because these are the guys that are really going to be the ones that allow your franchise quarterback to grow into the guy that he needs. And Braxton's a nice piece, but I think that how it is that you pay him is going to probably show you about how aggressive it is that Joe Douglas is going to be with regards to adding additional talent to that room, right? So Braxton Berrios is only in the spotlight because I think it kind of gives you an opportunity to shine the light on some peripheral cats. Allen Robinson, do we bring him in? Like Jim says, do we go ahead and throw the bag at DK? You know what I'm saying? If we do either of those things, really, where do we go with regards to drafting a guy and bringing another guy in? I don't think it would be far fetched to say that we know that we need more than one or two guys to add to this mix. So yeah, I want to just keep it in perspective. Braxton's in the spotlight, but that light is going to shine on quite a few different people. And I think where and how Joe Douglas decides to aim that light, I think is going to be really important. It's going to be really exciting to see how that unfolds. Now a lot of words to say. It's going to, what do you think we really need to do with regards to, wide receivers, and how do you think Joe Douglas, kind of, do you think he is really seriously aggressive with going after a wide receiver in this free agency?
Um, I think so, and the reason I think so is because there's a stat that a lot of people forget. Mostly the pessimistic fans forget this one. The guys out there that understand this game and understand this team realize this particular stat, and this has gone on all year.
Mhm.
Um, Braxton Barrios is the only receiver on the Jets roster that without a drop in 2021. Everybody else had him,
Yeah.
and some of them had a lot. Some of them had a lot, and 35% of Zach's on target throws, which is a specialty stat, and I can pull the link up for anybody that
Right.
wants it.
I wish you could slide
Um,
the chat.
but 35% of on target throws, meaning throws that were in stride with the receiver, with no defender in the vicinity. You know what I mean? The throws that were had no reason to not be caught.
Yeah.
35% of them were dropped. And if you factor out those drops, Zach Wilson's completing 70% for over 4,000 yards, probably 18 to 20 touchdowns with about 6 to 8 interceptions.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's
And
that's that's franchise quarterback numbers. Yes.
those franchise quarterback numbers, that's like top 10, top 12
Right. Right.
quarterback in the NFL this year. So
Look,
that's what
this.
people are forgetting.
Yeah. This offense really has the ability to be special. I really think we only saw a glimpse of it when we were watching that Cincinnati game because we weren't really watching the best guys kind of executing it. And we weren't really in rhythm. We weren't really, kind of at that point that we're going to be, hopefully, sometime coming up at the midpoint of this next season where everything starts to click. Even the young guys that, are going to need some time, are going to start to really kind of feel like that well oiled machine that I believe that we can grow into, right? Um, Trying to temper my expectations, but I think that
Mhm.
this offense can really be special, and it is really going to be exciting to see what they add to it to make it pop. So now, ladies and gentlemen, since Jimmy has basically said that I was kind of on point with the spotlight tonight, right? I'm just gonna take that from what it is that he said. We are going to get ready to go into my favorite segment, and that is the front office with Jimmy Jardine. Jim, this is one of my favorite places. I'm going to sit down over here in the corner. I'm gonna take a shot of this Maker's Mark and
Ooh.
educate us, bro.
This week in the front office, as my name says on the show tonight, DK Metcalf is in the front office. And he's in the front office mostly based on rumor. There's some rumors that Seattle wants to get up into the first round again. Um, there are potential ways that we could make that happen, and DK Metcalf is one of them. Um, I think a lot of things are going to shake out in Seattle with Russell Wilson. I think DK is also looking into that situation as well. I would be if I was a receiver on an NFL organization. Is my potential Hall of Fame quarterback going to be leaving in my fourth year, or who are we getting? So I think I think that's stalled some contract talks. Seattle's desperate to extend him with good reason, but at the end of the day, whatever happens with Russell Wilson is going to have an impact on DK Metcalf. And if Seattle decides to extend DK and he agrees, and Russell Wilson's gone, that could be a huge liability. And it's also something that they would potentially price them out of any trade market for DK Metcalf as well. So right now, if DK Metcalf were to be traded, we can kind of talk about the compensation that would be. Most people would say he's a first round pick. Or he was worth a first round pick. He was drafted in the second round, so I don't necessarily think you'd have to give up a first for him. Probably our 38th pick, you could probably get it done. Or if Seattle wants their 10th pick back, they can have it, but they're going to give us their second round pick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But DK Metcalf is still under his rookie deal. He's going into the final year of it, and Seattle still owes him about $338,000 for his signing bonus, which actually they would still be responsible for in a trade. So DK Metcalf, as it stands right now, is a $1.1 million cap hit to the New York Jets if we were to trade for him. We would
Whoa.
have DK Metcalf for $1.1 million in 2022. I
And
say
then
this. I say this because this fits Joe Douglas's 1 year prove it deal mindset to a T. Absolutely to a T. There would be no better situation for Joe Douglas from his perspective than to bring in a wide receiver of DK's caliber, have him for a year on no money, literally no money, and then see how he wants to do. Like if DK decides he's going to keep producing like he has in his first 3 years, which have been amazing, I'll bring those up in a second. Then I'm not opposed to getting DK Metcalf 20 million a year. I'm okay with that. His value warrants it. And his value warrants it because of this. Everybody claimed that DK when he was at Ole Miss that he had injury concerns, that he had drop concerns, whatever the case may be. Route running was another one. He's proved all of that wrong. He's never missed an NFL start in his career so far in 3 years. Never missed a game, never been hurt. That's a great thing. So the kid's durable. He's big. He's 6'4". He's 229 pounds. It's just I can't even explain how good of a target that would be for Zach Wilson. His rookie year, he played in all 16 games. He started 15. Um, he was targeted 100 times with 58 receptions. He had 7 touchdowns, 900 yards. 2020 started all 16 games, 129 targets, 83 receptions, 1,303 yards, 10 touchdowns. 2021, they split it up a little bit. They're spreading the ball around a little bit more. Still 129 targets, 75 receptions, 967 yards, 12 touchdowns, 48 first downs too. By the way,
come on, man. Come on, man. That's we already know what we're talking about here.
what do
Look,
you want?
yeah, DK is DK is the wet dream, right? In this case, right?
He was. Ask Buda Baker if DK Metcalf is fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
there's speed. He's proven that he can run NFL routes. He's proven that he can get open for Russell Wilson, for Zach Wilson, who is also a mobile quarterback. DK can if they got on the same page,
mhm,
that's dangerous.
yeah. Look,
That is dangerous, man.
I am very interested in seeing it work out. I'll tell you right there. Um, just because I think that we need a really big, speedy receiver, and I'm not even saying to be the one, right? I'm not saying, oh
Yeah,
yeah, this is going to be our number one. Right? Yeah, I think you and I we agree on this that what you would consider a number one wide receiver isn't even remotely the same when you go from different people considering what they would call it. I just want a type, right? We've got Elijah Moore, who I think is probably going to end up being a number one wide receiver. We've got Corey Davis, who we brought in to kind of be that until, and who can be a really awesome piece. You know what I'm saying? We know he can be an effective piece in this offense. Um, I think the underrating of the need for a tight end, I think, has gone on for too long. I mean,
mhm.
we're gonna have to address that. So again, DK would be such a dope piece in this offense. I am just gonna say it again, just because I am really trying to will this into existence. Traylon Dan Burks, it's the hill I'm gonna die on. And look, we'll talk about that again later. Um, we're coming up against it right now. My man Jim, look, DK is the wet dream, right? I mean,
I
just imagine adding him and Traylon and Elijah and Corey and having a Trey McBride or a Ruckert coming out of the backfield with
I
a yeah. Look, we
I would love McBride. That would be an
nice.
awesome piece. If we resolve, my thought process is if we resolve wide receiver with a top player in free agency
Yeah.
at wide receiver,
Ooh.
then I gotta say, man, because I still think that Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson go 1 and
Are going to
2.
be. I think one of them is going to be there at 4.
But here's the thing.
I think one of them is going to be there. I
I
just
think Evan Neal falls to us at 4, and the
yeah.
reason being is because Houston doesn't have a franchise quarterback to protect. They're not going to put the left tackle on a contract ahead of the quarterback.
I don't know. I think they do. I think they like
That's
Davis. I think they like Davis. I do, and I think they want to give him a chance. I think that's what it is.
well,
I think they want to give him
maybe
a chance.
you could say that in 2020. I don't think you can say it now. David Culley's out the door.
Yeah, I mean, who they're going to bring in, and whoever they bring in,
Well,
they're going to
I
have to
mean,
bring in. Yeah. Well, you know what? Having that pick certainly does make it an attractive position to be in. I'll just be honest, as far as the head coach is concerned, because if
Matt Corral from Ole Miss would fit that system pretty well.
I don't know if I want to say that cat is going to be my franchise quarterback though. I just don't know.
I'm just
Look,
saying,
I'm not going to say they don't believe it. I'm just saying me personally, I
sure,
don't. I don't know if
but
that's where I'm at.
I think
But
if you have the wide receiver taken care of in free agency, I go Evan Neal at 4, Tyler Linderbaum at 10. I finished that O line. Remember, because our O line in 2021 was ranked 11th by PFF.
yeah,
You get Evan Neal,
we're top
you
five
get
on 23.
yeah.
We're,
If you get
we're
Evan Neal and Tyler Linderbaum,
23.
Lions
We're
done, boys. We have the
23.
depth.
23. We have a top five O line.
If
Feel
not the
me?
number one.
Yeah. Look, that's ridiculous. So what? 4 or 5 first round picks? Who we're gonna get? Who we're gonna get for the right tackle? Right? Because I don't even care. 4 first round picks. We're gonna look like the Dallas Cowboys line did when. Well, you know what? They couldn't get it done, but they certainly were a really dominant, offensive
Oh
powerhouse
yeah,
during the time. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's do that. Um, we're gonna come into our final thoughts here in just a minute because I'm sorry, we're no longer in the front office as much as I like it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my coffee and go back in my office. We're going to wrap up. Look, again, silly season's coming. There's going to be a lot of names thrown around. There's going to be a lot of folks that are being discussed with regards to scheme fit and all of this. Let's be excited about what it is that it comes out of this Senior Bowl. Coming up, it's not the next weekend, is that right? It's
something like
coming,
that. I
or
think.
is it this weekend? Excuse me. So yeah, because there's usually some gems that pop out of stuff like that, and because we're actually going to get a combine this season, really excited about that. We're definitely going to have some content. We're trying to line up some guests coming up over the next couple of weeks here, especially maybe until we lock them down. I don't necessarily want to say, but we are going to discuss the draft. We're going to discuss Jets Twitter. We're going to discuss quite a few other things that I think are relevant. But we'll try to make the important stuff, the nonsensical stuff. We'll try to make that available
Sure.
to you coming up, right? So, Mr. Jimmy the Reaper Jardine, one of my favorite guys, one of my favorite Jets fans. Give me some final thoughts before we wrap this up tonight, man.
Well, I'm going to use my final thoughts to kind of touch a little bit on Barrios, and everybody knows that I'm a supporter. I love the kid, but we also have to be realistic, and we have to run this team like it's a business because it is. It's a multi-billion-dollar a year franchise,
Yes, it is.
just like every other franchise.
And get my money.
We all want Super Bowl wins. We all want playoff appearances. You don't get there by letting your heart overrule your head when it comes to contracts. Idzik and McCagnon did that for years, and it cost us dearly. Braxton Barrios on any NFL roster is a number 3 wide receiver at best. He's a gimmick. He's a gimmick player, which is I'm not saying that as a dig on him. He's a
Yeah,
gimmick player,
we need him.
and he's a solid special teams guy. You don't pay a number 3 wide receiver. I'm seeing people saying as much as 10 million a year. It's just you don't do it. My ideal contract for Braxton Barrios is a 4-year, $20 million deal. Put him at $5 million. you front load that contract so that way it's most of it's paid up front, and that way he holds value without us having to handle more dead cap later on if we had to deal him.
Yeah.
But Braxton Barrios, there's just no sense in going 10 million. Even 7 or 8 million, I think, is too much. He's a number three receiver. The second,
Three,
you
three.
start putting him, you're putting him at Corey Davis money, just about. If
Yeah.
you started talking 10 million, so it's just not a smart take, and people need to see where the player's value lies, and they need to kind of resign to that fact. And but I think Braxton would be an amazing addition. I want him to be a Jet for life, but as Joe Douglas said in his last press conference, I'm never saying that again. But those are my final thoughts. Kev, what do you got?
Look, that was awesome. And I just it does tie in again to why it is that he's in the spotlight. What Joe Douglas does, is really going to be telling, right? Because we don't know Joe Douglas to be that frivolous spender. We don't know him to be that guy that kind of overpays much of anything. I know maybe he might be wrong in evaluating talent, but I don't necessarily think that he's just overpaying guys just because he's not smart about how it is that he handles the cap space.
Yeah,
Um, I do agree. The 4 year 20 million. I say we give him 13 million guaranteed. I think a nice bonus, whatever. Have that last couple of years of the deal be the smallest ones, and if he warrants through upper echelon play, if he earns a restructure, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I do like Brett,
you can make the last 2 years incentive based. So you
basically.
front load all the guaranteed money up front. You give him base salary, and then you put incentives on it, and
Yeah,
that's going to keep him motivated. So that's just
right,
the way I would structure it.
right. If you make the Pro Bowl again as a special teamer, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying. Don't lose focus. We're paying you, but do what it is that you do. We're not asking you to do
Hmm.
anything more than just be good at what it is that you're already good at.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. My final thoughts come into once again. Um, you know what, Jim, you've kind of been alluding to it each segment, because coming into this, we're talking about silly season. We're talking about silly takes. Excuse me, sorry about that. We're talking about $10 million for Braxton Barrios, or drafting Kyle Hamilton at 4, and I'm sorry, I had to say it. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Excuse me. And it's not something that I think is pretty, but my final thoughts are we need to stop overthinking this. I think it's fun to kind of play around with it, right? But until it actually
Yeah. Yeah.
happens, until we know who Joe Douglas sees as important over who maybe we like, but they don't see as being, a part of what it is that we're doing. Again, it's really fun. It's really exciting. It helps us to learn a lot more about football players. It helps us learn a lot more about football, because the more we watch football, the more we, kind of get into the X's and O's of it, the more we understand that the better fans we become, right? So I want to just say, dig into this stuff, guys. Even if you take a few minutes on the weekend. I know a lot of us live busy lives. Me, I've got work and school, and I'm a youth mentor, and I got the ladies and kids and the whole thing. So um it's a lot of time, but it is one of the most fun football things I think that we do. I want to give a shout out to a few guys. Like, I want to give a shout out to Joe Blewett. I want to give a shout out to even Luke Grant. I want to give a shout out to Robbie Sabo. I want to give a shout out to Will Parkinson and Connor Rogers and all of these guys who actually put Baldy breakdowns, which I know folks just catch those things in a minute. They catch a snippet, but it really does help to teach you what it looks like to know what a good player looks like, to know that sometimes it's not always what it is that you just see in that one snip. but everything around it that happened to make it possible for that play to take place, right? So my thought is going into this season, let's get away from all of the tapes and let's get into the actual trying to understand what's what. I don't want anybody to get too invested in any players because realistically, they're probably not going to be here. Most of the guys that we talk about most every year, they don't end up coming here, right? Um,
Yeah.
but there are going to be some guys that'll be available that quite possibly could end up falling to us. All right. Or we may end up, again, this is why what Joe Douglas thinks is important, what Rex Hogan thinks is important. There are going to be guys that they think are better for what it is that we're doing than anybody it is that we would want at 4 or 10 or, in a various trade down situation, right? Take the time to become a knowledgeable fan in this season, guys, because what we're about to see as Jets fans is going to be really exciting. And I would like you to know what's happening as it's going along, right? This offense can be special. Know how it works. Know how the wide zone blocking scheme actually works. Know how it opens up play action.
Yeah.
Know why the tight end is as important to it as what it is that we're going to show that he is coming forward. Know why, having that Swiss Army knife type wide receiver like Elijah Moore is going to end up being. Why it's so important. Understand why Michael Carter is going to be the beast that he is in this offense because of how elusive he is and really how reliable I think it is that he can be. This is a time we all come together and we try to learn how to be more knowledgeable fans. And I'm talking to some of us, even me, because I
Mhm.
know there's a lot that I can learn. I'm still learning. But let's just take the time this season, guys, because it's a hell of a time to be a Jets fan. Over the course of these next couple seasons, I think you're going to have cause to want to watch these films instead of actually just being subjected to it. All right, so Jimmy, these are fun, dude. Like this is like one of my favorite times of the week, especially because I get to kick it with you. More importantly, because we get to kick it with the fans and the guys that follow us, the guys and the girls that follow us, and I just want to thank you all for coming in. I know we're gonna have a lot of content coming. Um, please excuse me. This was my inaugural event. Like this is the first time I've ever run it. Solo. Without the assistance of CJ Simone. And I hope I've done him
Yeah.
proud this evening. But once again, Jimmy the
Did good,
Reaper
man.
Jardine, my guy. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. We're gonna try to do it better next
Also,
time.
I put that site for the advanced statistics. It's a direct link to Zach Wilson in the
Awesome.
private chat here. So copy and
All
paste
right.
that.
Yes, sir. And we most definitely appreciate all of you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, like I said, we're gonna try to do it better next time. World War Sports World Radio. Get it from the Apple Store. Get it from Google Play. You can find us again on YouTube at the CNC Jets Factor. You can find us on Facebook. We've got our Weapons Hot page there. Um, Jim, let everybody know where it is that you can be reached.
Anywhere and everywhere at Jets by Jimmy. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Quality content.
When
And
it comes back, I'm getting there. We got
yeah,
to get a new
look,
computer and
yeah,
everything, so I'm on a little bit of a hiatus. Except for this show, I couldn't say goodbye to this show, man.
look, and this again, this is why these are so much fun. And I know I've been missing because I got COVID. Just for anybody that doesn't know that, I caught COVID and I was dead for a couple of days, and then you know we rise. So I'm thankful to be back. I'm thankful for this platform, and there's going to be some more stuff coming. So look out for it. Again, you can reach me Twitter at Spotty Blackman, on Facebook Kevin Jackson. You can find me at the Hub on Facebook page. We admin there. Or you can find us in the World Wide Sports War Radio page, Weapons Hot page. There's like 1,000 different pages I'm a part of. Jump in, it's fun. Um, Family, once again, for our guy CJ, the painkiller D Simone, for one of my favorite people right now, my man Jimmy the Reaper Jardine. I am Spotty Blackman. You can holler at your boy. We will see you guys next week. I believe next week we've also got to look forward to an after hours broadcast. Is that right, Jim? Are we doing
I
that
think
next
so.
week? Is that right?
I think so.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So let's get it in. Thanks again, guys. I'm sorry, no music. We don't have any of that. Next time, like I said, we're gonna get it together. Um, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again.
All right, guys. Peace out.